Hey, welcome back everybody. Welcome back to my channel, Amuse Jester. My name is Junior. Today let's take a look at Star Wars 3.75, the Vintage Collection from the Acolyte series. This is Jedi Knight Yord Fandar. So, mirroring what I'm doing with the Black series, I do want to collect as many Jedis, as many Siths as I can from the Star Wars universe because I already have all the troopers and all that stuff, and I have enough of the population going on, but uniformity seems to be what attracts my eye. So here's Jedi Knight Yord Fandar from the Acolyte, and we see this really nice striking pose, the actor and everything, so we'll have something to compare it to. Kenner logo. The figure itself is shown very nice and clearly in the front, and there's the back. Again, just the card back, the figure being posed, a little blurb and what's going on. Vintage Collection VC354. Let me open it up and let's see what's going on. So that's basically what comes with a figure: an unlit lightsaber, a lit lightsaber, the figure itself, and some fabric goods. We've come to expect that when it comes to Jedi 3.75, so I'm not really expecting much. This is exactly what we're expecting, and we're getting it. So there's no bonuses, there's no detractions or anything like that. Let's do a close-up and examine the accessories and the figure itself. So examining these small lightsabers always so hard because they're so small, but you do see a detail going on the unlit lightsabers. You can see at this scale it's really hard for me to look and identifiably any distinct paint application, if it's just a reflection of the light or anything. But I think it's the same gunmetal color all around, but has a very nice detail, as you can see. As you can see right there, see, it's a very nice detail that's sculpted into the lightsaber. Let's just examine this one. This is the lit one. It's almost the same kind of detail than the unlit one, but yeah, I think how this is made is this whole piece is made out of the transparent plastic, and this is just painted in, so it doesn't particularly be more successful than the other one. The other one was just, I think, casted in gray plastic, so it's able to hold more of the detail than this one. So let's take a look at this head sculpt, and okay, I feel like in this one they failed on capturing the likeness of the person. I just don't see it. I just don't. I wonder if this is another scan. If it's a scan, then it has to be very accurate, regardless of how small the sculpt is. So it must, if it's the same scan, then the failure is in the paint application. You can see it actually has a small gold earring in there, so they even paid attention to that. It's just there's something lacking on this one. That's, look at how different this person is compared to that. So I would say the eyes are not as striking as it is in the picture. So this is just me comparing it. Obviously, I think the expression, the eyes are too dead. I think there's just no determination that I'm seeing in the photograph. The lips are too neutral, and I think, I mean, the paint application in the eyes is well done. It's just, I think they just did paint application in the eyes, the eyebrows, and the lips. There's nothing in terms of the eye socket or in anything on the cheeks. They're letting the sculpt in itself work to show those shadows, but because it's so small, it's really hard to do that. And the hair looks almost like large globs of sausages rather than natural hair. And then basically mirroring what happened with the Kenobi figure is that the uniform in itself, as you can see, has no paint application. So it's all just bare plastic. The application of paint is relying mostly on the belt. Let me take off the robe really quickly. Okay, now that the robe is off, we can again now fully appreciate what's going on with this figure, because now we see the detail that's being pointed out on the belt over here. And you even have this piece over here that's some sort of equipment, some nice coloring gray pouch over here all around, and then you have this arm guard that's in gold. Honestly, if you were to see this figure like so, you're either going to be attracted towards the face or the belt and the gloves, and that's all that's attracted to. And you honestly, my eye is focusing more on the belt rather than the face, because the face is just neutral and looks almost dead, to be honest. But kind of not focusing on the face, we will then appreciate what's going on with the design of this figure. Let me zoom out and look at it some more. Okay, now that we've zoomed out of the figure and we're not concentrating so much on specifics and focusing so much on what's wrong with it, if you look at the figure as a whole, it's actually not bad. You see the bright colors of the tunic or the robe here that's going on. You see the nice design of the figure. It's very much like a Jedi robe set in the golden years. But you just can't accept the fact, you just can't escape the fact that that head is really lacking in terms of portrait likeness. That's the only thing. So again, I do appreciate the fact that with the vintage series, they give you an unlit saber and a lit saber. It's just recently that I discovered the meaning of these different colored lightsabers. I believe the gold or yellow lightsaber means that they belong in security, or they're into investigations and something like that. So I didn't even know that the color of the lightsaber had meaning in terms of your position in the Jedi Order. But yeah, look, Acolyte is kind of a divisive series from what I've been hearing. I kind of liked it. It gave a little bit of insight on what was going on in the Jedi Order. It's not a perfect reflection of society or what we knew as a Jedi. In fact, we have discovered that it's begun to show flaws in its system and everything. So it's not like the most perfect order, and I kind of like that. It gives it a little bit more realism, more depth, and everything. So rather than the shallow introduction of 4, 5, and 6, where it's just we get a young hopeful trainee, a mentor, a rogue character, and a princess to be saved and to save the galaxy plan. So it's very shallow when you think about it with Star Wars. But yeah, it's something we love because it's the first time we've seen it. So in terms of articulation with this one, I was just rambling on. Sorry. The head, at least it has a movement over there because there's no restriction on the back of the head. For down, I'm just gonna say he can only look straight forward, side to side on the head as expected. The shoulder can go up to that high. The robes are, as you can see, is malleable enough that it's just bending out of the way, so you're not restricted, but it does have enough restrictions so you can't put this up straight. It can articulation wise. It's just this is just gonna provide some resistance. As for the elbow, of course, we have the usual slightly over 90 bend, and then you have the wrist over here. The wrist, now we see, because this one does have the ability to go up and down on the right side, and on the left side is mirrored. It goes up and down as well. As for the waist articulation, this performs much better than the Kenobi because he has a thinner waist, so he can move slightly forward, slightly back, slightly side to side. But at least with this one, I can tell, okay, there is a little bit of motion in there. Unlike with Kenobi, you really can't tell. Again, the same split design for the, what would you call this? Whatever lower part of the tunic is. But again, it's using the same kind of rubber, so it's not gonna have a lot of give. Let me push it out of the way just so we can look at this articulation. It's the barbell hip to thigh connection, which is what I wanted. So we can kick up to 90, can kick off to the side over slightly 90 or slightly before 90. Has a thigh cut, which is disappearing from the Black Series, and I'm glad Vintage is maintaining that. The knee articulation goes up to 90, and it does have rotation on the knee. And of course, the ankle goes down really well and slightly going up. That's usually the design, but you do have an ankle rocker. In terms of the skirt over here, it does hamper articulation. So when we previously saw 90, now when we try to push 90, it will go down to maybe 45 to 50 degrees. Okay. And let's see, how tall is this guy? He is at, I would say, 3.90 inches. He's slightly taller than Kenobi. Interesting, but it's nice. It's nice to have some height variety or height differences between these figures. It gives them a little bit more character, more individual characteristics that I like. All right, so putting on his robe, obviously, it's a small figure. The robe is going to be mismatched from the scale because you can't really make robe that would fit this 1/18 scale. It does, but scale-wise, it will have this poofiness look that you cannot get away from. It's a nice feature to have this fabric, so we can have a robed Jedi and a without robe Jedi. So it's a nice feature, but obviously one has to suffer than the other. It's nice though. Having the sleeves really completes it as a Jedi robe rather than with Kenobi where it's sleeveless. So yeah, but as you can see, the similarities in design for the Jedi robe and a Tatooine desert robe is very much the same. So in terms of value, again, I paid $17 in this one, so base price of $10 equaling to $17. The value in this one is basically I got exactly what I wanted. It's a Jedi representation of Yord Fandar, Jedi Knight. I like how his character was developed, kind of like newly promoted Jedi Knight, and he's kind of cocky, getting out and everything, taking his responsibilities too much. So I really did like the character. I'm sad that he died, but I'm much more disappointed that his apprentice got killed. I really did like. Actually, I liked his apprentice more than this one. Apprentice was she really an apprentice in that one? The little girl Jedi that got. I mean, because she fought really well with the Sith Lord and everything, the stranger. But yeah, so I mourn her passing more than this guy. But I still like the fact that the Jedi numbers are growing, and we get to see the Jedi in its golden age as it's starting to kind of die down or something. But yeah, so the value in this one, I'm gonna give it a 10. Very similar to what I did with Kenobi, maybe sliding down towards 9, because the face is just something lacking about that face. Everything else is fine. Even the lack of paint application on the rest of the body, except for those 2 points of interest, the belt and the hand armor, which we don't even see in the robed version. But again, I would really have liked it if they had done more on the face to really capture the likeness of this one. It's there, the representation is there, but I would say it's 75% there. So I think it could have been better. Had they pulled it off, it would have been a higher value, because we're paying full price on this one at $17 for 3.75. We're kind of like, I don't know about you guys, but that's like pretty high for me. And that's why deluxe figures of 3.75 being priced at 24 is like, you're gonna have to convince me better for me to buy something like that for 3.75. I don't care how many accessories you're gonna give me, because the accessories, I'm gonna lose them. I'm gonna put in baggies. So it's $24 is a lot for 3.75, especially if it's an army builder. But anyway, I'll give it a 10, slightly 9. It's not bad. It's just basically saying that you're getting exactly what you were thinking of. And I knew his face wasn't really well done, and it didn't do the character or the actor justice. But I knew that coming in, so I'm not really gonna subtract a lot. That's why I'm kind of debating whether it's a 9 or a 10. I'm settling around 10. But yeah, but that's it for my review of the Star Wars 3.75 vintage collection from the series The Acolyte Jedi Knight Yord Fandar. Definitely a worthy addition to your 3.75 line. It just helps to expand the universe, so I really want to get it, and I got it. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you guys again on my next review. Bye.